I am always telling my friends that your money should be making you money, but a lot of times they do not listen and don't want to sign up. So I decided to make a video about it for my own benefit and for yours. Every single time I consider getting a new savings account, I redo the research, and I figure if I already did the research, I might as well do a video about it. And nowadays, interest rates are pretty good, so you really should be having it in a savings account and not in a traditional checking account. Now we're going to talk about the top 3 accounts for APY, which is the amount of money you're going to earn per month if you keep your money in these accounts. Later Tori inserting this, if you didn't know, APY means annual percentage yield, and that's the amount of money you're going to make based on the amount of money that's in the account. And some accounts do a lot better APY than others. So you're looking for a higher APY. If your APY is not over 1%, you really need to switch, and all of these are way over. They're all in the 4s. So either way, back to the rest of the video. Now they're not regular checking accounts, so they're going to have a few more restrictions, but they're also not I-bonds. They're nothing that's going to keep your money in a specific place for a specific amount of time, but they are going to have more restrictions, like I said, than a typical checking account. But for the most part, nowadays, you can do it! Keep all of your money in a savings account instead of a checking account, because most payments you can make through your savings account, and I am going to talk about them in probably a different order than most people would. We're actually going to talk about the highest interest one first. Yes, I'm going to do that one first, but it does have the most restrictions to the least amount of interest, but pretty good interest. And it also has the least amount of restrictions or requirements to have the account. And also it has a sign-up bonus right now. No matter if you use my link down below or not, you will get a sign-up bonus. But if you use my link down below, you'll get an additional $25 on top of that sign-up bonus, which you can only get if you use my link. Now, the first account I want to get into is actually Citibank's Platinum Savings account. Now they do have different savings account options, but this one specifically has an APY of 4.85%, which is pretty good, especially if you're around my age. We didn't grow up with there being much to any interest in savings accounts, and that's why I feel like a lot of people stir away from them, because it's like, so what, I can make a few dollars. But nowadays, interest rates are so much better, so you can make a lot more than a few dollars, depending on how much is obviously in your account. Now, as for the interest yearly, I'm gonna give you some comparisons. Let's say you had $5,000 in your savings account, and if that sounds like a lot of money to you, don't worry, you're still gonna be earning money no matter the amount that's in there, but I just wanted to give some ideas of people of how much you could actually earn in interest based on a certain amount. So for a year, if you kept $5,000 in a savings account with this APY, you are going to make $248.47. So that's over $200 that you can get just by having it in this account over having it in another account. Now let's say you had a little bit more than that. Let's say you had $10,000 in that account. And that's not unheard of. Having $10,000 in your savings account is a pretty normal thing once you get to a certain age. So let's say you had that amount in your account, you would be getting $496.90 in interest over the period of a year. Now this is the amount that you would earn per year if you kept it in there and kept the interest in there, because keep in mind, the interest is going to increase the amount that's in the account, which is going to increase the amount of APY interest you're going to earn every single month. So in total, you'd be getting $496.90 if you kept the $10,000 and the interest in the account. But all those technicalities aside, it's free money. Basically, it's money that they are going to pay you for keeping your money in that savings account. Whereas if you kept it in your checking account, most checking accounts interests are 0.0 something percent, whereas this is 4.85%, which is very, very good. Now, this is the one that I said had the best interest of the regular savings accounts I saw, but it does have some pretty large restrictions to it, which might lead you to wanting to do one of the other 2 accounts we're going to talk about next, and that's that you actually have to have $100 minimum to sign up, which is not that crazy, but what is crazy is you have to have a minimum of $5,000 in the account to get this interest. So I did say before that no matter the amount in the account, you would be earning interest, but you wouldn't be earning the same percentage. You'd be earning way lower than the other two accounts we're talking about. So unfortunately, to get this APY of 4.85%, you're going to have a minimum of $5,000 in your account at all times. So this is not exactly the best option for a lot of people, but it doesn't have any service fees that some of the other accounts you heard of might have. Now let's get into the second account, which has a lot less restrictions and still has a pretty good APY, but this one also does not have a sign-up bonus. That will be the last one we talk about, but the second one is Citizens High Yield Online Savings Account. So it is high yield, so it might have a little bit more restrictions than traditionally, but for the most part, it's actually pretty similar to a regular savings account in most cases nowadays. Now the APY on this account is a little bit lower. It's at 4.5 instead of 4.85. So it's going to make a bit of a difference in the amount of money you're going to earn per month. Now using those same amounts we talked about before, if you kept $5,000 in the account and kept the interest in there, you would be making a total of $230.21 over a year-long period if you made no additional contributions but kept all the money in that account. And if you had $10,000 in the account, you'd be making $460.23, again, just by keeping the money in the account. They're not asking you to go clock into a 9 to 5. They're not asking you to go figure out what stocks you're gonna invest in. You're just keeping the money in there, and they're gonna pay you so they can use that money for whatever the heckle doodle they want, and you're keeping it in the account. Now, this one has a bit different requirements for the minimum that you have to sign up and the minimum you have to have in the account. And that is a total whopping 1 cent. You have to have 1 cent in your account to sign up for it, and you also have to keep 1 cent in your account to keep the interest rate going, which 1 cent is much better than the $100 sign up the last one had, and much better than the $5,000 balance you have to carry. So I think all of us can manage 1 cent, I'm hoping, and obviously you can't have anything in the negatives either, but this is how you get an interest rate of 4.5%. And there are no service fees attached with this account. But I still like the last account better because personally, I think it's a regular checking account. Attaches very easily to the savings account, whereas this one is not the case. So personally, I take a little bit lower of an interest rate for having basically no requirements, and also for being able to have a regular checking account that I can easily and instantly move money between the two of them. Now, the last one I am referring to is one that I've been seeing commercials about all the time now, and I would love to do a deal with them someday, so reach out to me. I really believe in your bank, but either way, that blabbering aside, because this is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, the last account I want to talk about is SoFi's savings account specifically. Now, I do have one disclaimer. I have talked about this account, I think, previously before, but it used to be the checking account and the savings account were the same interest rate or same APY. It's not the same APY anymore. And it is actually only for the savings account, not the checking account. So I have to remember to make sure to move my money from my checking account to my savings account, but it's instant. So as long as you're remembering to move it over and keep it in that savings account, you are good. Now, only with SoFi are we gonna have to talk about a few more things in the other two accounts, but it's actually for a good reason. They're running a sign-up bonus right now and an additional bonus if you use my link down below. But first, let's get into the basics of the account that relate to the other accounts too, and that is the APY. The APY on this one is the lowest at 4.2, but 4.2 is still way higher than the national average, so it's still a great amount. And if you kept $5,000 in the account, you'd be making a total of, I have to look at my paper, $214.52. And if you had $10,000, you'd be making a total of $428.91. Now, that is the lowest amount of interest you're going to see of those three accounts we talked about, but overall, all of the interest on all these accounts is really good. And when I say interest, I mean APY specifically. Interest is technically slightly different, so my apologies. Annual percentage yield is what we're referring to throughout this whole entire video. Though with this account, it does have way less restrictions in my opinion because I get direct deposit. If you do not get direct deposit from your employer, this bank account is basically not an option for you. It would not be a good deal. You would not get the interest rate. You would not get the sign-up bonus. So you do need to get direct deposit every single month and set it up linking to this account specifically. And if you do that, then there are no service fees. You're gonna get that annual percentage yield, and in addition to that, you're gonna get a great sign-up bonus, which is one of the main reasons why I like this account. Is when you sign up for the account, you can get up to $250 for signing up for direct deposit, and it's based on certain amounts. So the spreadsheet is on the website and it does tell you how much you would be getting, but it is up to $250 just for signing up for direct deposit and signing up for this account. And I think there's a few other restrictions to it, but either way, that is a sign-up bonus like a credit card gets, but it's not a credit card, it's a savings account. So I definitely found it was a great deal and I had to do it. And then in addition to that, you do get $25 if you use my link down below, which I'm not so happy about because I did not get the $25. I used my mom's referral code, and when I signed up for it, I only got $15. But now it's $25 if you use my link. But either way, that point aside, it could be a lot of money just for signing up for the account. So if you consider that into the fact of the interest, that makes up for way more than the difference in interest on the other two accounts. So if you're able to get that sign-up bonus and get the 4.20% APY, it's a better deal than the first two accounts, but it does have a lot of ifs associated with it. But overall, any of these three accounts are most likely going to be better than your current savings account if you have one. There are a few other options going on right now that I have heard about, like the one from Apple, there's one from Capital One, but these are the ones that I feel like stood out to me more specifically and had the least amount of restrictions for the most part. The first one does have a pretty good restriction on it, but at the same time, it does have a pretty good APY on it, and none of these are iBuns. None of these have restrictions on how long you have to keep your money in the account, but overall, I do find SoFi is one of the best ones if you do want to have a regular checking account and you want to be able to easily move money between the two. I would recommend SoFi for sure. I would love to do a video with them in the future, and also I would love to do an updated video with you guys on the best credit cards of 2023. I have past ones if you want to check them out. I want to do an updated version of that, and I promise every single time there is a change going on when it comes to savings accounts, credit cards, making money on your money, I will be right here doing a video because I'm gonna do the research for myself. So please hit the like and subscribe button down below. I post a new video every single Wednesday, and I hope you have a great rest of your morning, evening, night, whatever it is for you. I'll see you Wednesday.